Hi, Dav here, and today we have a new episode in the art review series. And today we'll be checking out the work of Danila Tomadini. So I did find this artist via Instagram over here. Actually, Danila does remind me of another artist named Danila as well. I'm not sure where they're from. Is this like Italian? It sounds Italian, like Tomadini. Who knows? But the point is, I will link this page, by the way, in the description below. But what's so cool about their artwork or their body of work portfolio is they're very focused on like knights or armored sort of humanoids, sometimes creatures, and they look kind of dragon-esque. They have that kind of aggressive look to them. And they almost always leave the background just white, and they're just really focused on the thing they're trying to illustrate. For example, we have a dragon over here, we have a knight here, but even this armor, it looks very dragon-esque, like the way it's shaped, the armor, right? It looks very winged, if I could say that. Oh, this is pretty cool, and they're very painterly. Reminds me a little bit of Ruan Jia, right? Look at that, and they're all pretty much in grayscale. This one's more of a silhouette sketch, I think, but it's super cool. Wait, it's not loading. Look at that. So maybe at the beginning they use like basic round brushes for like the thumbnail phase, and then they go in with more painterly types of strokes to obviously get that painterly look. So we have some like grayscale sketches here, like line work. Why is it taking so long to load? Let me just click the image instead. Look at that. Right? Pretty cool. And again, you can solve so many problems here by just focusing on the grayscale aspect of things, because you're ignoring color, which means you don't have much or other things to worry about. Because with value, you are sort of thinking about form, really, for the most part. And that is like you're creating something that's presentable, but also your design. It's something where it's a method, an approach that helps you design things as well, like efficiently, right? Well, maybe they do, because I know there are artists who just jump in and start painting in grayscale, and then they'll do some colors after or a color pass after. But I don't actually know what their process is. Maybe they do start out like this, a very rough kind of line work, and then they paint on top. But I do think that they will eventually make some changes when they do the grayscale sort of phase, right? Because you can design even in this sort of level or pass. I mean, if you zoom in, you start to see those. Can you hit this button? Look at that. Look at those brush strokes. I do see a bit of brush variety. Very impressionistic, which I do like. Oh, this one reminds me a little bit of Evangelion, like this part right here, like the face or the head design. Pretty freaking cool, right? And it's enough. You don't have to go overboard. I mean, you can tell the further you go down, it does get more. You see more of the brush strokes, it does get more like vague. And it makes sense because the main focus here anyway is going to be like the head design. And this is a good example of draw or paint or illustrate what you actually want to illustrate or what comes naturally to you or what you enjoy, right? For example, how often do you see this artist do full figures? I mean, look at this. Samurai, pretty cool. With a bit of a skull design as well. That's a cool freaking mask. Let me see other photos here. Different designs, but it's their own sort of take on the samurai kind of armor set. Pretty cool. Yeah, so if you just want to draw, or if you feel like just drawing like head designs for the most part, or most times, then that's what you do. And guess what? They've built a significant following just because they're into armors. And head designs. Like, look at this. They really remind me of Evangelion for some reason, or Gundam a little bit. Like some of the more aggressive designs. Oh, what's going on here? Come on, kind of hot. Yeah, we do have some colored pieces, but they're so rare. In contrast to the like full portfolio. Shit! Look, what the fuck? Look at this jump. I think they got better faster the moment they started doing grayscale. And I think that's sort of a secret. You want to like limit your options and sort of funnel your focus into like one thing, and like limit your mediums, limit your like environment, so you can really dive into fundamental things. And I think for them, it's going to be focusing on one subject, mainly this dragon-esque sort of theme. And the way they do it is the background is almost always left white. Everything is done in grayscale. It's not always a full figure. On average, they're always like focused on the head, and then maybe it'll expand to the upper part of the torso. But that's that's the average. It's the majority. And because they're doing this, look at how they're able to really dive in and understand like reflections, which is very common in like these kinds of armors. You can tell by the way it's being painted. It's very like, it's not matte. It's very shiny, very reflective. Look at that, right? And how often do they paint skin? Almost all of their armor designs are like, they're all covered basically from head to toe. And yet the contrast is pretty strong too. Or in grayscale mode, like they're including essentially the whole set of values. It's not like it's one is like it leans on the lighter side, or one leans on the, because there are artists who lean more on the like lighter grayscale works. Some lean more darker. But I think for Danila over here, it's like the full thing, from the lightest to the darkest. And I think they're avoiding using whites for their grayscale just because in the background they're already using white, so they rarely use it for their. Oh, I really like this dragon. It's so freaking cool, freaky but hot. Reminds me of another artist. I forgot her name. She did a lot of like turtle, dinosaur, grayscale sketches. I remember seeing her work back in like high school. Like turtles, dragons, and she did it with like this chalk / square brush in Photoshop. She's one of, sadly I forgot her name, but she's one of my first artists who really like shifted me into, or more into like art. She was the kind of artist that made me want to, like draw, paint, and whatever. But yeah, so Danila is giving those vibes, right? And they're very, they really go in deep when they paint, because when you look at their, let me just click on this. If you look at their brushstroke, it does get kind of small. They're not really into big brushstrokes, or even if they start out that way, it eventually goes or becomes even more refined, kind of like Ruan Jia. Look at that. And it does have a very gritty look. There's another artist, I'm forgetting their name, Ting Xu. Hopefully I'm saying his name right, Ting Xu. They have a similar vibe maybe. Ting. Let me just pause the video. Yeah, I just found Ting Xu's work. Very similar to the work of Ting Xu, just a bit, right? But, oh, look at this one. It's a kind of dragon too. Look, it's so fluid, it's so organic. And I know like armor is pretty like it's like a hard surface kind of subject, right? But it feels organic, like the way he draws them or designs them. It's very sort of, again, like reptilian, dragon-esque, animalistic. Oh, it's so hot. And again, you don't have to do full figures if you don't want to. Just let the art flow. I mean, you can, if you want to, you can do full stuff. But if in the moment you just feel like doing like a head design or something, then just do that thing. So if you need some inspiration, I do recommend you check out the work of Danila Tomadini. So I will link this page. Or they also have like an art station and other links. I will link this page in the description below. And yeah, I'll see you in the next episode. Bye.